All right, everybody, Chewy Internet coming at you today with another a One Piece card game video, and this time we're going to be talking about the Smoker deck that I'm really impressed with from the OPO 10 flagship that won over in Japan. I believe it's been a couple of weeks now, maybe close to a month when it happened, and I've been playing this deck a decent amount, and I really like it. I think it's really good. I think it's gonna have a strong presence early in the OPO 10 metagame. The fact that this deck was it won a flagship and it's actually pretty freaking good. It only has a couple of bad matchups from my play testing, and from there it just does really well into a lot of decks. So if you guys can do me a favor, like, dislike, comment, and subscribe, do all those things y'all got to do. I'm always gonna have that One Piece content for you guys. And sorry that I've been lacking on it. It's just I've been busy, and it's been hard. I'm always doing Marvel Crisis Protocol content, and right now trying to delve into other video games that I can do content for, and it's just been hard to get back to this. And I should. I played this game too much to not do any content on it and talk about decks that I play and stuff like that for the One Piece card game. So, and yeah, so let's talk about this deck overall. Let's talk about the leadership. Opponent's turn. Your character with Navy or Punk Hazard trait gain plus 1,000. So during their opponent's turn, everyone's plus 1,000 if you have Navy or Punk Hazard. Really good stuff, and a lot. And this effect tricks up people sometimes because they feel like the character is at their base power and they're not. Like for example, let's go ahead with this Tony Chopper here. That's a blocker. He's plus 2,000 on opponent's turn. Well, he's plus 3,000 because of the Smoker leadership that adds an extra 1,000 to the blocker. So he's a 7K blocker. And it's really effective. People just forget that he's a 7K because they look at his base power and he's like 4. But if they don't read the card or anything, or they don't read this card and the leadership, they just sit there and they get stumped, and they put the wrong amount of down on the leader or the character or whatever is swinging, and they just get screwed from there. So, if you have a character with a 7,000 power or more, set up to 2 of your down is active. This effect is really strong. All you gotta do is have a character with 7,000 or more. Now, the other thing that you can do, and what I like to do, is this Sanji here. Basically, the Sanji is plus 3,000 on your turn. So what you end up doing is that you put a Dawn on the Sanji. It's 7,000, and then from there you can go and activate Smoker's effect because you have a character with the power of 7,000. So you can add Dawn to a character and activate this effect and set those Dawn as active and do what you need to do from there. Really strong effect. I didn't think much of this at all when I first played. When I saw this leader, I was like, okay, whatever. It's just another red green leader. I didn't pay any attention to it. The flagship happens. I'm seeing what it's doing. I'm seeing what how the player is playing into the matchups like Doflamingo and Lucci and all that stuff. And green purple Luffy, which everyone is playing right now in Japan. It's doing pretty well. It did really well into that deck too. During my testing and during some of the matches that I've had, I've had a lot of matches with this deck. I will say that it does pretty decently into Doflamingo as long as you got the 8-cost kit out with Tashigi, which is freaking mind-blowing. Let me read you Tashigi for a second. When one of your green characters other than Tashigi would be removed from play during your opponent due to your opponent's effect, you may instead rest this character. So this card stops your characters from getting removed. Basically just getting removed from the field. And all you have to do is rest this character. So if you summon Eustace Captain Kidd and you have it here with Tashigi, and if they try to Red Rock your Eustace Captain Kidd, well, you just rest Tashigi and they just rested Red Rock and Kidd just stays there. And Blue has a hard time outside of Red Rock dealing with 8-cost characters, kind of. Outside of Kaido, 10-cost Kaido can remove not remove, but basically return an 8-cost character back to the game. Well, it's removal, but yeah. There isn't much outside of that. So once you use the Gum Gum Red Rock, that's it. It's gone, right? There's not much you could do. So as long as you have this with Rocinante and with Tashigi, you're doing pretty well. And Hody Jones is absolutely fantastic with this. It basically is a game ender, right? Once you set the kit down and you do the whole Tashigi Rocinante thing, from there you just go and you end the game with Hody Jones resting 2 blockers, grabbing a life, and just doing your thing. The beautiful thing about this is that this synergy here between Hody and Smoker is that when you summon Hody Jones, you spend 7 down to do it. Well, okay, that's really cool, right? So once Hody hits the field, you spend 7 Dawn. because he's 8,000, you can go and restand 2 Dawn. So basically, Hody turns into like a 5 Dawn character and netting you a life and resting blockers and just being a rush. Like, it's this and him, Smoker and Hody Jones are a match made in heaven. Now let's add another layer to it. The 5 cost Smoker that comes along with Smoker in the basically the boss not the boss monster, but like the main card, like the main like Smoker card that's going to come with this deck, with this leader, I'm sorry, is this Smoker, which has Banish. So going into yellow, this card is very, very good. Set up to one of your Dawn cards is active. So what ends up happening is if you have a combination of these 2 cards, which is this Smoker and the leader, you can restand 3 Dawn. And that's insane. So, like, let's say if you have this character along with, let's say if you have a Smoker along with Captain Kidd, like we just talked about, you summon Hody. Well, now you can restand 3 Dawn with the leadership and Smoker, and you have 3 extra Dawn to play with. It's really good. Just put it like this. It's really, really, really good. And Banish is absolutely fantastic. Ben Beckman is just a stud. Trash is a 6,000 or less character. He's just really good. Baccarat is really good. It's another blocker. You can trash a card and plus 2,000 to a character. Basically, this with Eustace Captain Kidd, really good. Rad Beam, just at 1. This card really surprised me. So this has a trigger. Activate this card's main effect. The thing you have to keep in mind is that once this trigger goes off, if you have a 7,000 or more, 6,000 power or more character on your side of the field, you get to reduce a character's power by 5,000. And if they are 2,000 or less, you KO them. So, yeah, this card is really, 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 really good, especially dropping at big bodies. This card's absolutely fantastic. Monet gives 2 Rested Dawn to a character, minus 1,000 to a character. So you can imagine, let's say you get the nuts and you have Monet and Kidd. Well, you can give Kidd 2 Rested Dawn instead. And you can minus 1,000 to character and then go in from there. Then you can activate Kidd's effect because he has Rested Dawn on him. Otama, just standard. Probably one of the, it's a standard red card. 2K counter minus 1,000 characters. It's really good. This is just a generic searcher for Punk Hazard with Virgo. And that's the deck in general. I mean, this deck was well built. Every time I make changes to it, every time I make a change to it, it doesn't do as well. It does not perform as well. Right? Like, I've tried 9-cost Zoro. I've tried. And let's see. This is a pretty good hand here. Maybe we can. Let's try this. Let's stick with this. We got the Kidd. We're good. I've tried 9-cost Zoro. I've tried 10-cost Doflamingo. All kinds of anything I change with this deck, it just doesn't function as well. And it just shows you this is just a well thought out, well built deck that this guy spent a whole bunch of time testing, and it just seems to work really well. And we're going into the Eustace Captain Kidd, one of the yellow leader from OP10. This matchup, right now Red Green Smoker going into yellow does really well. Does really well going into an L, depending on how good the opponent is. If the opponent's trying to starve you, doesn't take, takes life and gets all these cards right to hand, and basically builds up your board so they can just drop things with the Yamato later on. It can be a long day for you is basically where I'm getting at. And, you do well into an L. You just have to take your time and build your board out and get Kidd out and make it as safe as possible. Because when you play into an L, you want to stop the Raigo, you want to stop the Yamatos from KOing the Kidd. And once you stop that and you have a bunch of 2K counters in hand and blockers, once you keep the Kidd out there, you just win the match, basically. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to do this like we were just talking about earlier. We're going to restand 2 Dawn, and then we're going to restand another here. And I think we're going to swing a healthy 7. No, what we do is we summon Tashigi. Now, what's going to end up happening here is if he tries to KO Tashigi, I'm sorry. If he tries to KO Smoker, I can rest Tashigi, and I save the character. So right now, basically, Smoker is safe. Unless he has a card that can kill 2 characters in 1 turn. I don't think so. I don't think Yellow has anything at 6 Dawn that could do that. So from here, it's going to be tough because you have to address this first. You can't KO this character first. You have to address this character first. That's the way to get around this. So let's see what the Captain Kidd does. Yeah, see, it's going to trash the life, and watch what's going to happen here. You see, he tried to KO, right? So now use card action. That's it. He tried to KO Smoker. And as you can see, the plus 1,000, you see that? So we're going to keep this alive. And look at the +1. Look at the mileage I'm getting on here. We're going to keep this alive. This is very important to keep Tashigi alive to keep Smoker alive. Okay? And also the Eustace Captain Kidd later on. All right, so we're going to summon the blocker. Oh, we're not going to summon the blocker because what we want to do is we want to avoid the 5-cost stuff that KOs my stuff. Granted, I could just Tashigi and it'll be fine. But we want to take our time here. So, let's go ahead. Let's see. We're going to have 4 Dawn here. Right? So we're going to have 4 Dawn to summon. We could restand 3. So we're going to swing 7. Not yet. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to swing 8. If he takes this is banish, right? So we're probably going to get 2 2Ks here. 2 2Ks. Which is a win for us. If not, that's a banish. That's good for us. That's really good. All right, so now we're going to do this. Swing 7. And as you can see, like this is kind of what you do in the yellow, and you just kind of steamroll. So now what we can do is we could restand 3 Dawn. So restand the 2. We can go ahead and restand a 3rd, which is what we're going to do. And we're just going to pass a turn. Now, this card is really good. This is a Punk Hazard card that comes with the package in OPO 10. Choose it to one of your leaders or characters if it gains plus 3,000 during this battle. Afterwards, one of your opponent's leaders or characters gets minus 2,000 during this turn. This card is very, very flexible on how you can use it. So, like, there could be an opportunity where Dawn is invested into one of the characters. We can go ahead and give plus 3,000. And if the plus 3,000 is enough to get past the attack, we can go ahead and minus 2,000 to another character, which makes it very difficult for that character to attack. So, very flexible here. And also, we got to keep in mind we have a 7,000 blocker here. So, this is what we're talking about. See how the Dawn's invested here? Now, watch this. He swung 10. He should have swung 11. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to go no blocker. We're going to run this plus 3, which keeps us alive. And what we're going to do here is we're going to minus 2,000 here because it's the highest attacker, right? So now to swing at Tashigi, I'm sorry, to swing into Smoker with Kikunojo, it needs to invest what? 4 Dawn, which is all for the Dawn, right? Nothing. So this is a mistake, yeah. And this deck can catch a lot of people off guard. Like I guarantee you he has no idea how to play into this. So now we're going to get the nuts, right? We're going to summon, restand 2, restand 1. And we're going to invest it on here because we want the effect. And he's done. He just quits. That's it. That's it. He disconnected. So that's how it goes into like certain yellow matchups. So now let's play Doflamingo. Doflamingo's a little tougher. He is one of, I mean, I do feel like we do really well into him, but they can just snowball. They can just they can just beat you, right? Just by summoning a whole bunch of characters and just doing Doflamingo things. But I do feel like I'm in control of the match once I have like Kid out and everything. They just can't do anything about it. Let's see if we can get a Doflamingo match. I'm just hoping to get one. Come on, come on. There we go. Come on. All right, here we go. This match, I feel like I want to go first, so I'm just going to go first to get the aggro going. We're going to keep this hand because we have 2 Eustace Captain Kids, and we have a Searcher, so that's really good for us. And we have the Tashigi, so if they decide to Red Rock the Eustace Captain Kid, we can just go ahead and rest. If they try to Red Rock the 8 cost, we can just go ahead and rest Tashigi and just call it a day. And sorry if I'm getting the names mixed up. It's just I'm looking at the characters, and they just look like Smoker and Tashigi. It's confusing. All right. We're going to grab the Smoker. We probably should have grabbed the blocker, but I think the Smoker's okay here. And we're going to end turn. Next turn, we're going to summon the 3-cost the Sanji. This card's really good. You're going to find out why here in a second. It's 6,000 on my turn, and I can turn it into a 7,000 attacker. Like, it's really good. It also draws me a card. Now, they do have Law that can bounce it back to hand, but it's just another counter that comes back to my hand, so it's not a big deal. The Smoker's really good in this matchup, too, because it banishes. So, like, once you start to drain Doflamingo, like getting cards out of hand, forcing him to counter, Smoker becomes really good because Smoker then is able to banish, and those cards don't go to hand. They just go straight to the trash, which is really good for you. All right, so let's see what happens here. This is probably going to be a law. I'm assuming. Oh, Jinbei into law. Yeah, and then we're going to get this back to hand. We're going to take this, and we're good. All right, so I think all we do here is swing big into Jimbo. Right? I mean, we just do something like this. Restand 2. Look how strong this is. So now he's either going to give me 2 cards out of hand, or Jinbei just dies. Or we're getting close to the big dawn turn where we're going to summon Eustace Captain Kidd. He is in a really good position here, but summoning the Jinbei does hurt because we can't like KO multiple characters like how Black does and all that stuff. Let's see what he does. Any minute now. Bueller. Okay, it's gone. And we will go ahead and end turn. So now you got to figure. So right now I'm out of the range of Gravity Blade. Granted, he can't use a Gravity Blade because it's not the 7 Dawn turn. He could Jozu me, which sends the Smoker back to hand, but then it's just a 5k attack, and he just abandoned it. Yeah, he's just going to continue the aggro here. What we're going to do is we're going to just start swinging. We are going to 2k that attack. Because all he's going to do is Doflamingo here. We're going to take the next one. That's perfectly fine. And now it's going to be Jinbei probably going into... I don't agree. Let's see. So nothing. All right, cool. We'll take that. All right, so we got Ben Beckman. That's actually pretty good for us. So we have a lot of options. Okay, we can Hody. Okay. Hold on. But if we Hody, we're in trouble, right? So we can't do that yet. Wait, we can. Okay, so our options are we summon Ben Beckman to get rid of, and then we just get rid of these two and continue to keep playing the slow game. And then we can summon a blocker. Okay, I think I know what we're doing. I think I convinced myself to do that. So we're going to swing 7 here. We're going to take our time. That's gone. Or we could just summon Hody. And we can kill another character. Maybe not. Let's take the safe route. This is probably a bad idea, but I don't want to go down another life here, so we're gonna do this. Let's get rid of Jinbei. We're gonna set up 2 Dawn as active. We could summon a blocker, or we can get cards out of hand. I think we do this, right? And I don't think he wants to lose any more cards. If he does, I don't like his chances. Yeah. So we'll end turn here. So now he's got a decision to make. Go after Smoker or... Because right now we're going to the Big Dawn turn, right? And the Big Dawn turn is going to be Kidd, and we're going to be in a really good spot. Because he's going to have a really hard time getting rid of Kidd, and we're going to show you in a second. Right now our goal is to keep... So yeah, take 7. Okay. So we don't have another 2K. Do we? No. So what's going to save us here, I think, is the Kidd. Because we don't have another 2K, which sucks. If we had another 2K counter, which I wish I didn't spend, we'd be really good. Yeah, we have to take this now. So... What's unfortunate is I guarantee you he probably has a stupid unblockable. All right, so let's go ahead and summon the Kidd. Now watch the nuttiness here. Restand 2. Restand 1, right? So our options are really good. Let's go ahead and swing 7 here. Let's start dropping the bodies. Come on. Come on, Dofi. We could bring this back. We do have a lot of cards in hand. What can we do? We need to give 1 Dawn here. And we need to be careful with what we're about to do. We have 1 more Dawn to play with. That is it. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second. So we're going to use Kidd to summon Tashigi, and then we're going to spend 2 to play Rocinante, okay? So now we're just gonna go ahead. Let's see if we can get a 2K counter. I highly doubt it. Yeah. So now the next attack is gonna go in. This is gonna be a banish. If he counters, it's really bad for him. It's 2 cards out of hand. This card's not going to hand, so that's good for us, right? And if this is a Gravity Blade or anything like that, Red Rock, it just goes straight to the trash. So now he's just debating if he just counters it, right? So we're in a and it's yes, and we got rid of a femur. That's good for us. We're gonna use effect, summon, and then we're gonna spend 2 here for the blocker, and we're gonna end turn and hope to God, we can survive this. He has 4 cards in hand. That's 1 Dawn spent. So like I said, he can't Red Rock. If he Red Rocks, we rest Tashigi, and then we can just block the next attack, and then we summon another Rocinante next turn, and we just call it a day, right? Yeah, and he just gave up. See, like, that's it. That is it. Like, that is legitimately how you play this matchup. Smoker into Doflamingo, and then you just call it a day. So, anyways, that's it, guys. That's my little deck profile of Smoker. It's not my deck at all. It's a deck that I've really been having a lot of fun with. I'm really contemplating on playing officially, right? Like competitively going to tournaments with it. Quick notes. I think you do well into Doflamingo. I think you do well into yellow in general. I think your bad matchups are going to be Blackbeard, Shanks. Blackbeard and Shanks seem to be the 2 decks that I have the most issues with this deck. And outside of that, every other matchup, it just depends on how well I play and if I can set up the board properly and do all the right things to win the game, right? Those decks, those leaders, I have a really hard time, even if I play well, to do anything relevant. I just lose, right? But yeah, that's it. All right, guys, take care. Everyone, have a blessed day. Like, dislike, comment, subscribe. Do all those things I got to do. I'm going to have that One Piece card game content some more. I'm going to do more of this content going forward. So thanks, guys. Take care.